Well, that deer didn't go very far. I could have swore I heard it crash over here. Some blood on that leaf there. A little bit of blood right here. Man, that thing's got to be here somewhere. Oh, look. Right there, dude. There's the belly right over there. Ooh, yeah. Come on. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man. That is going to be some good eating. Some really good eating right there. You know, I hunt hard, and as far as I'm concerned, I grew up old school. I grew up watching Fitzgerald, watching Ben Lee, watching Fulcrod, Roger Raglan, you know, the real old timers, the pioneers of hunts and filming hunts. And I always wanted to do it ever since the first Fitzgerald tape I popped in, you know, that I rented from Roadrunner Video. Some of you guys may remember that little rental place. Well, times have changed, you know, and those guys are gone. And I kind of feel like that I want to fill a little bit of their shoes as far as educating hunters out there who are just getting into the sport, and some people who have been in the sport for years. And to me, yeah, this is just a doe to a lot of guys, but this is a trophy because I grew up in a time when there was no deer in the early 80s. There was no deer around, you know. To get an opportunity to get one was something that was really, really unique. And but what happens is I get a lot of pictures on my website, and the guys that have pictures of deer, a lot of times they'll just be, you know, laying there, or, you know, in the back of their truck or something like that. And then I also get questions on, you know, what can a person do in order to take good quality trophy pictures. Well, now I know this is a doe eye to you guys, but I'm really proud of it. Made a great shot. As you can see, the arrow's still stuck in it, and I'm not going to hide that from you. But I think what I'm going to do is, you know, I hunt solo. I'm by myself right now. I'm going to set up what I do to take really good quality trophy pictures so I can post them on my website and on my Facebook account, and then you guys can watch this and hopefully learn how to do it, and then you can send me some really cool pictures with you in them, you know. So let me set this up, and we'll do a really cool photography tip. The first thing we want to do is we want to represent the animal that we just took out, killed, harvested, however you want to put it. We want to represent that animal in a clean fashion, so even if an anti-hunter sees it, they're not going to be repulsed by what they see, you know, blood, guts, all that kind of stuff. And you can see just from a little bit of video a minute ago, this was a pretty bloody kill scene. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to move the deer over here about 10 feet, and we're going to set up the deer, we're going to clean it up, and we're going to pull the arrow out of it, and we're going to take some really nice photos. You know, if you take your time when you're doing this step, it's really going to help you guys have some really cool photos to text to your buddies and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and move her over, get my bow out of the way here, sit it out of the way, and go ahead and pull the arrow out. But one of the things that I do is I carry some old gloves and stuff with me, some old rags, and I'll stop it if I'm near a Kentucky Fried Chicken or a place like that that has those little handy wipes in there. I'll grab me a handful of those, keep them in my truck, just so I can wipe my hands off, and then so I can also clean up the deer so that it's not real bloody. You know, I've already been back to my truck before I ever came to look for this deer. I knew I made a good shot. I actually heard her crash because she came through some sticks over here, and I knew it was down, so I went ahead and went back to the truck, got the knife, got my other tripod for my cameras, my little camera, and I got some gloves so I can move this thing around without getting all bloody. Alright, well there's the arrow shaft. I always kind of knock a little bit of that off, you know. I don't personally see anything wrong with having a bloody arrow in your quiver, especially when you've got a quiver full of clean arrows. That's kind of like a trophy in itself. It's a good thing to show, you know, people are going to see it, and it makes a hunter feel good. If you don't want to do that, you can wash it off in the creek or wipe it off, or just set it off to the side. You know, this one happened to stay in it. Most of the time they don't. Oh, she's a heavy gal, man. All right. Okay, I'm going to flip her over just from the looks of things. All the blood was on that, mostly on that one side there. I'll go ahead and just take this glove I got, and you can wipe it off. You can see right there, just that little bit of wiping is getting that blood right off of her. You can't even see it. She's got a little bit on her face and stuff. You just want to take a few extra minutes, wipe her down, wipe them down, the buck, doe, whatever it is, bear, don't matter. Stick the tongue back in its mouth, We're going to clean this up to where it looks presentable, so you can show your kids, you know, they're not going to be horrified with bloody deer that Daddy got. Now you can't get these things perfect, never can, but you can get them really close. You know, I'm just using an old pair of jersey gloves I had in my truck, and they were wet, so that works out even better. You know, and you may want to go ahead too and just make sure you get your hands clean. All right. We got her all cleaned up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up the deer. We're going to go ahead and pose her up now, the way we want her to look. Oh, she's a big old gal. It's going to be fun dragging this dude out of here. I'll tell you that. All right. Well, she's not cooperating real good. A lot of times they stiffen up. It's been about an hour and a half since I shot this deer. She's already gotten a little stiff. I'm going to make it kind of hard bending her around. Alright, well that's not too bad right there, really. It's actually pretty good. I'm going to take a couple of these sticks here I got and prop up behind her, just to get her posed up. It's a big stick here. Good enough. That'll hold her to where we can get the cameras out and get them set up. And then you know what? If you got any place that you see blood, like on the leaves in front of her, just go ahead and just take your stickers looking for your foot. Just kind of knock them around so it's not going to show up. Pull these little weeds out of the way, because that's going to get in the way of the camera, and it's going to make the camera want to focus on it. Okay, what I got for cameras is nothing high tech. I've got a real small El Cheapo tripod that I got at Walmart. I carry with me. It's been in around the salt water, so it's a little bit seized up. Painted it camo because a lot of times, you know, if I'm filming for somebody, I can work one of these cameras as a monopod just by folding the legs up. It comes in real handy for that. See, it's a little stiff, but it still gets the job done. All right. And for the big, gigantic, expensive camera that I got, actually it's a camera that my wife bought me for Christmas. Just a standard digital camera. Kodak, nothing fancy about this camera. It is digital. I think it's a 10 megapixel, whatever that means. But it's got a camera adapter on the bottom of it, and I'd like to do that and put it on the tripod. You know, keep in mind, if you don't have a tripod, if you got a backpack or something like that, you can do that. You can wedge your camera on a tree limb or set it on a stump or something close by. There's all kinds of stumps and stuff in here. I could do that just as easy. But I had to walk back to the truck to get my knife. So I went ahead, now I got my camera on the tripod. And every one of these digital cameras comes with a self-timer. You just want to use it. It gives you about 10-15 seconds to get in front of the deer. So we're going to change camera angles with that camera. I'm going to show you how I take pictures of myself. I do this all the time. It works out really good. You guys are going to see. You know, the great thing about using a digital camera is you can aim it just like this with the viewfinder on the back. And then you can also review your pictures. So it's not costing you anything to take a bunch of pictures. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the timer right here. I got kind of a unique angle. I'm looking at the front of the deer. You know, and the things that are going to be closer to you are going to look bigger. So her head's going to look really big in this picture. But that's going to kind of give it a really neat kind of depth to it. You know, you also want to make sure that you're cleaned up. You took time to clean the deer up. Make sure that your hands aren't real bloody. If they are, go ahead and rub. I'll rub dirt on mine a lot of times because that dirt's wet and it'll knock a lot of that off. Plus, everybody nowadays likes to wear that face paint and stuff, and it doesn't look quite as repulsive with just dirty hands as it does with blood. So, okay, I got the self timer set. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna punch the trigger. I'm gonna run around in front of it, grab my bow, and smile real big for the camera. You can say cheese, you can say backstraps, you can say whatever you want. Right. Lay your bow down there and get a big old smiling picture. Alright, well you notice that it flashed. That's a good thing because it's kind of shadowy in here. What that flash is going to do is it's going to fill in any of the shadows. It's going to make your face look real bright. You try to avoid taking pictures in real bright sunlight because it'll glare on your face. Usually your face is light this time of year. All right, let's look at that picture and see what it looks like. Yeah, that picture looks pretty good. There were some branches in front of the deer's face. Didn't see that before. All right, I'm just going to pull these little sticks out of here and try it again to get a little bit clearer shot of the deer. I'm going to move it back just a little bit farther this time too, and I'm a little bit more to the left, which is going to give it a little bit different angle. All right, I got my self-timer set. Pull the trigger. This time I'm going to hold the deer's head up. And I smile real big. Because why do I smile? Because I have a dead animal. It's because I worked my butt off this morning and I got in here and I got one. That's why I'm happy. Anything I get with my bow I consider a trophy. Anything you get with a bow I consider a trophy. You may not, I do. Send me the pictures of the squirrels you shoot, whatever you shoot. All right. Yeah, that picture there looks really good. Okay, I'm going to take one more. This time I'm going to move the camera around at a completely different angle and get more of a broadside shot of the deer. And you notice what I'm doing here is I'm dropping my tripod. And the reason I'm doing that is because you always want to shoot up onto the animal. It makes the animal look bigger, number one, and it also gives you a lot of really good depth and makes the trophy stand out more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go low on my tripod here. Like I say, this thing's stiff as a board because I got it in some salt water when I was fishing. Okay. All right, well now I got her lined up there, low. This is going to be a big shot up on to the deer and to me. Just set your button. Pull the trigger. Jump in there and smile big for the camera. Well, there you have it, everybody. You know, it's that simple to take really good quality trophy pictures. As far as I'm concerned, that's part of the trophy process. It's really an essential part of any animal that you kill. I do it with these does because, like I told you before, I come from the old school, and I believe that every animal is a trophy, you know. And if nothing else, it's definitely something to pay a lot of respect to, because if you plan on eating it like I do, you know, it means a lot to me. The animal gave its life so I can eat. And if you guys can't tell, I need to eat. Look at my skinny butt. Well, anyway, you know, that's a few tips out there on taking good quality pictures. You guys get your next animal, take some good trophy pictures like I showed you. You know, you can actually get somebody to help you. They can lay on the ground and snap some pictures. It's a little bit easier than doing it with a tripod, but it can be done on solo. And so go over to bowtuningtips.com, hit the Ask Kenny at bowtuningtips.com, attach a picture to an email, fill in a little bit of information, your name, location, and the type of stuff you were using on your hunt. And I'll put it on the website and on the Facebook page. You know, when you're also setting these up, one thing to keep in mind, it never hurts to have a little product in the shot. That way you can email it over to your company, that maybe the bow you were using or the broadheads you were using. They may just send you a free hat or some free garb stuff over there. You just never know. Well, that's this week's tip. Until next time, you guys be sure to stay tuned.